Well, good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Thank you for joining me, G. Samuel Verrett and the Winning Ways Show on a Monday night in the mountains of Idaho. So glad that you have joined me talking tonight about why you can't quit. I don't know why I have felt so impressed the last week or two to talk about this subject. It's probably the third time I think that I've addressed it. Tonight going to be a little different, but a lot of people when they begin to pursue their dreams, they begin to follow the purpose that God has for their lives, expect for everything to happen fast. And the fact of the matter is, if you're going to accomplish anything great, it's going to take time. There's no such thing as an overnight success. And here's the thing about overnight success. No success happens overnight. It takes time. Now, sometimes after a lot of effort's been put forth and all of the R&D, research and development has taken place, and you've got processes in place and you're working towards something. Sometimes when your break happens, it seems like you were an overnight success, but in actuality, it was most of the time years of preparation, years of sustained effort before you realized success. Holly and I the other night watched a documentary about Luke Bryan, country superstar, on, I think it was Amazon Prime. It was actually like a 7-part series, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's worth looking up. Something about a dirt road diaries or red dirt road diaries, something like that. But it was a documentary about how he went from the beginning with his music career and all the way up until he actually had become an entertainer of the year in country music years and years and years and years later. And it's really funny because I spent a lot of time in Nashville, and you meet a lot of people that move to Nashville for the sole purpose of becoming a country superstar. 99.9% of them never make it. In fact, if you're looking for sound equipment and music equipment and all that kind of stuff, Nashville's the place to go, to the pawn shops, because these guys come in, them and their bands, and they have high hopes and great aspirations, and they're going to make it. And then they don't make it, or they run out of money and they have to sell all of their equipment so they can survive. So it's a great place to go and buy equipment, or at least it used to be, I know. But the fact of the matter is, any path you start down towards seeing your dreams fulfilled, seeing your purpose accomplished, is going to take time. It's going to take time. There's no such thing as an overnight success. One man said, yes, I guess I am an overnight success. The problem was the night was 25 years long. And so we were watching this documentary about Luke Bryan and his rise to popularity and stardom and fame in the country music industry, in the country music genre. And man, did he go through some stuff to get to where he is now. I mean, he had family tragedies to deal with. He had promises that were made to him that weren't kept. I didn't realize. I mean, I'd heard, but I didn't realize until he talked about how once you're in Nashville And even after you've signed a contract with a record label, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful. It doesn't mean they're ever going to make an album for you. And he talked about a song that he wrote after he had been signed in Nashville, and it was being played all over the United States on country radio, and then all of a sudden the record label just decided to pull it, no reason. And he thought it was going to be a big hit, and it probably would have been because it's a great song, but for whatever their reasoning was, they decided to pull the song. During that time from when he was a young man learning to play guitar, singing in high school, and then later on in college, and then doing concerts all around, with his buddies. And I'm talking, a year or two after he started singing, they would have these concerts, in gymnasiums or backyards or wherever, hundreds of kids coming. So he was even at a young age, he was experiencing success, but he wanted to get that break, and he wanted to reach more people. He wanted to sing in front of bigger crowds, and of course make albums and make more money and all of that. But he started out, and his brother was killed in a car accident, and then after and his girlfriend and his brother's girlfriend, and then after they had recovered from all of that, his sister died. And then after they had recovered from all of that, and she died of unknown reasons. Nobody even knows what, the medical experts weren't able to determine what she died of. And then she had left 3 kids behind, and her husband, was raising the kids, and then he died. And so Luke and his wife took the kids in. And all of those times when his brother died, then his sister died, and his brother-in-law died, he came to that point. Do I go back home? Do I leave Nashville? Do I just concentrate on my family? Well, his family wouldn't let him do that. And rightfully so. But he had to work through all that pain. And he talked about in these videos, like I said, there's 7, I believe, in this series. He talked about his faith in God and how his faith carried him through all of these difficult and hard times. Faith didn't make things easier. Faith doesn't soften the blow of what happens to you. In this world you shall have tribulation, Jesus said, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. But having faith doesn't do several things. Number one, it doesn't insulate you from having problems or from tragedy knocking on your door. Number two, it doesn't soften the blow. Faith gets you through whatever you're going through. My faith has gotten me through and is carrying me through some of the problems that I've had in my own physical body, in my own life, in my ministry, in my marriages, in just the unexpected things of life. And sometimes life doesn't just happen to you, or somebody says, you need to quit saying life happens to you and start saying life happens for you. Listen, it does both. Sometimes life happens to you, sometimes it happens for you. You learn from it. And so you're going to have rough spots in life. And the reason a lot of people quit and a lot of people give up is because their perseverance muscle isn't very strong. I mean, they just finally, they give up. They go, I'm not going to try anymore. I can't do this. I'm not going to win. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go do something else. And do you think I haven't been tempted many times in my life to go do something else? Of course I have. And there have been times that I have done other things to support my dream, to support my vision, to support my call. But I've never quit. I've never given up. Have I been tempted to? You bet your bottom dollar I have. I've wanted to give up, wanted to quit. It's kind of like watching the Super Bowl yesterday, and Patrick Mahomes, a few weeks ago had that high ankle sprain and then gets hurt right before halftime yesterday. And, I don't know if you've ever had a high ankle sprain or any kind of pain like that, but it's unbearable. I don't know what the medicine was they gave him at halftime, but there are times I've been looking for that. But he came out, he didn't quit. I mean, it's not like they didn't have a good backup that could have taken his place. No, his heart was set on winning the Super Bowl, and he did on a gimpy leg. And even one of he had one of the best runs of the night. And I was like, man, if the Eagles can't catch him and he's hurt, they're pretty slow. But he could have quit. He could have told Coach Reed, I can't go. I can't do it. I can't make it anymore. Can't keep this up. But he didn't. He kept going. Luke Bryan kept going. And there's millions of stories like that throughout history of people that refuse to quit, refuse to give up. It's like they said, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I mean, and that doesn't mean they get going by doing something. No. If you really have a dream and an idea from God, and it's from God, it was the Lord that gave it to you, nothing can stop you. I mean, it may slow you down, you may get off track sometimes, but you always come back to it. And you realize really quick in life that there's no such thing as an overnight success. Even the people that have been labeled as overnight successes weren't overnight successes. There was a process. There was years of working, years of praying, years of believing, years of honing their skills, years of working towards seeing their dream become a reality before it happened. So don't quit. I don't care what happens to you, don't quit. You say, well, why shouldn't I quit? Well, number one, you're still alive. You're not dead. You can still do it. Some of the greatest successes happened later in life. Grandma Moses was in her 90s when she became an artist. Was it 90s or 70s? Whatever. She painted over 1,500 paintings. Don't quit if your dream hasn't become a reality. Just because you haven't seen it manifested yet doesn't mean it's not going to. If you have a dream, if there's something in you that you believe in, you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to make up your mind that I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. Keep me. And if. And what do you do? What do you do when things come against you? You keep plowing forward. Another reason not to quit is you're still alive. You still got breath in your body. You can still make it. Another reason not to quit is you haven't tried everything yet. Number 4, you have faith and patience. And it's through faith and patience that you inherit the promises. And I know if you're a believer, you have faith and patience. It's given to you by God to keep going, to not quit, to not throw in the towel, to say, I'm going to make it. My dream is going to become a reality. Listen, I watched that documentary about Luke Bryan the other night, Holly and I, and it did something to me. It spoke volumes to me. It solidified some things in my spirit. It solidified some things in my mind. And that night I made the determination that I will not quit. I will not give up. Now, I've made that determination before, but when I saw how long it took and how hard it was and the setbacks and the obstacles that he had to overcome and how he overcame them, I might have a wolf outside. Kiki. Sorry about that. My dog is obviously protecting the fortress. I heard some animals outside, so who knows? But I can't stop what I'm doing to go get her. Anyhow, but watching that solidified some things in my spirit. Kiki, come here. Come here. Good girl. Sit. Stay. But it solidified some things in me. I won't stop. I won't quit. I won't give up. I'm going to keep going. I'll keep doing it. When my body says you can't, I say to my body, yes, you can. When my brain says you need to go lay down, I said, no, I'll rest later. But right now, I'm going to do what's in my heart to do. I'm going to see it become a reality. So, I just don't believe in overnight successes. I don't believe in it. And I'm sure not going to quit, and you're not going to quit either. And I have faith that we're all going to make it. We're all going to accomplish what God has put in our hearts to do. Well, I'm going to stop. I just wanted to give you a little bit of that. I'm probably going to pick this up in the morning or tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up in the morning or not because I'm not sure everything we have going on. I know Holly works, and it's Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Tomorrow it's Valentine's Day, and tomorrow is our son Wyatt's birthday. He turns 28 years old tomorrow. And so it's going to be a big day, a lot to do, but I know I will be back on at some point tomorrow. Plus, I need to work on getting my connections fixed here on Starlink. God bless you. Love you. Talk to you soon.